Rare forgotten ghost stories. The cursed village of Kuldhara in India. The desert of Rajasthan is home to an abandoned village, untouched for over 2 centuries. The story tells of the Paliwal Brahmins, a prosperous and respected community who suddenly and inexplicably left their homes one fateful night, never to return. But why did an entire village vanish without a trace? Many believe the village was cursed. Legend states that a corrupt ruler, Salim Singh, the powerful minister of Jaisalmer, became obsessed with a local girl. He demanded she be given to him or the village would suffer. Refusing to submit, the villagers vanished overnight, leaving behind their homes, their livelihoods, and an unnatural silence that still lingers. Before they left, they cast a terrible curse upon the land, ensuring that no one else could ever live there again. Over the centuries, multiple attempts have been made to resettle Kuldhara. Each time, strange accidents, unexplained deaths, and terrifying apparitions force the newcomers to flee. Visitors who step into the village after dark report whispers in the wind, shadowy figures moving among the ruins, and a heavy, eerie silence that warns, this land belongs to the dead. Locals say that if you listen carefully, you can still hear the faint sound of anklets in the wind, the cries of those who vanished into history, and the unseen eyes watching from the empty doorways. And should you dare to stay past midnight, don't be surprised if the wind whispers your name. The weeping woman of Stow Lake in the USA. In the heart of Golden Gate Park, a mother still searches for her child. At Stow Lake in San Francisco, many have encountered a woman in a long white gown, her face twisted in grief. The legend tells of a mother from the early 1900s who lost her child to the waters, searching endlessly for them. One version of the tale claims she was a young mother enjoying an afternoon by the lake when her baby stroller rolled into the water, sinking beneath the surface before she could react. In her despair, she dove into the lake in a desperate attempt to save her child. But neither of them were ever seen again. Another version speaks of a mother who, stricken by grief over the loss of her child, walked into the lake on a full moon night, choosing to end her suffering. But her soul never found peace. To this day, visitors report a spectral woman near the lake's edge, her reflection rippling unnaturally in the water. Some say she speaks, pleading, "Have you seen my baby?" But those who answer are never seen again. Car engines stall. Electronics flicker. The air turns bitterly cold. And in the silence, a faint weeping lingers, carried by the wind. Some visitors claim to see a woman emerging from the mist, only for her to disappear as they approach. Others have reported wet footprints appearing behind them on the path, though no one is there. Legend has it that if you stand at the water's edge at midnight and whisper, "I have your baby," she will appear. But once she does, you may never escape her sorrowful grasp. The Devil's Footprints in England. In the winter of 1855, something unholy visited the English countryside. After a night of heavy snowfall in Devon, the villagers awoke to a trail of hoof-like prints stretching over 100 miles. The prints traveled over rooftops, walls, and even water, defying all logic. Panic spread as people whispered, had the devil himself walked among them? The strange prints appeared in a single file pattern, as though left by a 2-legged creature with cloven hooves. They led through impossibly small gaps, high walls, and even across frozen rivers, a path no living thing should have been able to take. No animal or human could explain them, and theories ranged from demonic visits to an unknown supernatural force. Some say the footprints appeared again in later years, always after terrible events, like a harbinger of doom. Others claim to have seen shadowy figures with glowing eyes lurking in the fog on nights when the air turns unnaturally cold. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved, leaving one terrifying possibility. The devil once walked among us, and may yet walk again. The woman in the rain in Japan. In the misty streets of Tokyo, when the rain begins to fall, a woman waits. A figure dressed in an old-fashioned kimono, her face hidden beneath a veil of wet, dark hair. She does not speak. She does not move. She only watches. And when you pass, you may hear a faint whisper, "Help me." According to legend, she is the spirit of a woman betrayed, a bride abandoned on her wedding night, left to wander the streets, calling out for her lost love. Others say she is the ghost of a woman who drowned in a storm, unable to find peace. Some have dared to follow her, only to find themselves lost in a maze of empty streets, unable to find their way home. If you stop to help her, she will look up, revealing her twisted, rain-soaked face, and then she will vanish, leaving only the sound of dripping water. But those who ignore her often disappear into the rain, their bodies never found. The Screaming Tunnel, Canada, deep within the Niagara region, an abandoned railway tunnel holds a gruesome legend. The tunnel, made of old limestone, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl, her screams echoing through the darkness. Over a century ago, a farmhouse near the tunnel caught fire. A little girl, engulfed in flames, ran into the tunnel, screaming for help only to collapse in the darkness where she perished. Her soul never left. To this day, those who step into the tunnel at night and light a match report something terrifying. A sudden gust of wind snuffing out the flame, followed by a blood-curdling scream that chills the bone. Locals say that if you stay too long, her scorched figure will appear, running toward you before vanishing into the blackness. Some visitors claim they have felt a cold, unseen hand grasp their wrist, as if begging them to stay forever. These are the voices of the forgotten, the restless, the lost. If you find yourself in these haunted places, listen closely, but be careful, because some spirits listen back. Like and subscribe for more terrifying true tales of the paranormal.